It's loading. All right, what is going on, people of the internet, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you're watching this from? Well, I'm actually uploading this on YouTube and Twitch. It's your usual hosts on the Nerds Corner. You got myself, Way the Lock, and Alan the Lone Wolf.
Yep.
Today we are here with Justin, a up and coming rapper, streamer, and a gamer. Would you like to introduce yourself, my good sir?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Yeah, my name is Justin, and honored to be here, man. Thanks for having me with y'all, man. For real, thank you.
Okay. Now, for the fine people that are new to either us or you, explain, what you do best, and what you do as a hobby that you want to make it into, you know what I mean. I'm bad at
It's like
talking.
no, I got you. Like a career, like just what is my I got you. So a little bit about me. I've been doing music since early middle school. That's probably when I started really getting into writing my own stuff. Got introduced to hip hop when I was probably like in like 4th grade. And so 7th grade I started writing, and then from that point I just kept writing and then battling in high school and doing different stuff like that, and then went to college for digital audio and design and learning how to be behind the studio boards and mixing boards and learning how to create and record music and then start putting out music with producers and engineers and all that kind of stuff, man. So that was kind of my starting point, you know what I mean? And started performing probably my senior year of high school. That's when I started performing and getting shows and that kind of thing. And then and my faith is a big part of my journey. So like a lot of my music is a reflection of just my own life, but also the stuff I see around me. So a lot of my worldview and the stuff that you hear in my music, a lot of my just relationship with God and Jesus bleeds out through that. And so you'll see that be kind of this intersect between hip hop culture and faith culture and like pop culture, all kind of blending in one. That's kind of what I feel like Justin Mitchell kind of brings to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Now one thing I would like to know, and probably Alan too, as a rapper, where did your influence come from for your music?
Where did my influence? So one of the first rappers I ever heard that made me want to try and rap when I was a youngin' growing up, it was early Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes was my first rapper that I heard that made me want to try and rap. And it was a song called Dangerous that he had out, and there was a single that he had. I remember on the shelf. I remember going to I think I was in Walmart or something, and convinced my mom to buy me this single, and I bought it, and then I would listen to the single and flip the CD over, and you could listen to the song, and the instrumental was on the other side, and it was really so I would try to mimic everything I heard on that record when I was younger, man. So
Did you ever? I don't mean to interrupt. Did you ever try to as you're listening to it, like freestyle and try to come up with your own version of it?
Yeah, I think I didn't really try that. I think back then, I think maybe when I messed up my lyrics, I just kept going. If I messed up the lyrics that Busta had, and I was like, "What did he say?" and I would just make up something. I was like 5th grade, so I probably tried something similar to that. But I mean, early Busta was an influence. Probably DMX.
Who's his dogs at?
Yeah, where my dog's at, and just bark at everybody. That's it. R.I.P. to DMX, man. He's a legend. And another artist. I mean, Jay-Z, Nas, Wu-Tang, Eminem, obviously. Being a white MC, and M is a beast, so I would never sit here and act like Eminem was never an influence, because he definitely was.
It's one of those. He definitely helped pave the road.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, those were kind of my early influences, and then throughout my around college time, the music I kind of started listening to shifted, and then there was guys that I started listening to that I discovered where their faith was a big part of their music, and it really helped mold and shape just who I was, not even just as a rapper, but as a just as a man and as a person. Lecrae was a big person in that. The Truth, some other guys, man, in like Christian hip hop. So they were like a big influence to me too. So, um, yeah, a lot of influence, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I can't remember if you said it in the intro, but for those of you watching that just tuning in, why did you decide to become a rapper slash MC?
Well, so funny enough, man, I feel like in the beginning, I was young, so like for me, it was like rapping was it was I feel like it was
A way
just
to
fun.
express
It was,
yourself,
huh?
a way to express yourself in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it was always, 100% a way to express myself as a kid. Like, I feel like I needed an outlet that, like, because I played sports growing up. So, growing up playing sports all my life, like, I grew up competitive. So, the
Yeah,
one, like, music, I never really was, I enjoyed music. I listened to Michael Jackson. I listened to, like, classic rock. I listened to, um, a little bit of, like, early 90s, like, country music back when my parents would play it or something crazy when I was real little. And then I
yeah,
remember, like, just when I came across hip hop and like really started hanging around people that were doing it, and I think for me it was the competitiveness when guys would write. I would watch guys in my neighborhood write or battle or like just do different stuff. I remember being like, these guys are real competitive with how they approach this. And so that was always interesting to me because of my competitive nature and just who I am. And so I think the competitiveness it was a fun part of it. And then I really think as I got older, I realized like this is like a kind of a diving into the deep end of it. But um in my recent just discovery of my own self of realizing like, man, I think I fell in love with hip hop because my dad was military, my granddad was military,
mm,
like my mom's side of the family, there's military people in it, and so like a lot of my male influences, even in my own life, were this tough, bravado, like stern, don't show any sign of softness or you don't show any emotion, you just act hard all the time.
yeah,
But then in hip hop, it was like I'm gonna be hard as I can be, and I'm gonna be like this tough guy mentality. But in the same way, I'm also going to like talk about my mom, and I'm gonna say talk about my faith, or I'm gonna talk about this and like love songs, and like I'm like, but it was like, but then in the next minute, I'm ready to punch somebody in the mouth or say something crazy, and I'm like, that's like all I experienced on one side of it was just a group of guys who just wanted to have a anger issues. But then you
yeah,
have guys, so hip hop to me was like, I think for me, like being a rapper was a way for me to communicate aggression, but also like my aggressive stuff, but like also like, man, the just how I was feeling, and like I could talk about all of that and not lose this sense of like manliness. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Yeah.
masculinity, I guess,
A
if you want
way,
to put it. You know what I
a
mean?
way to like have like those not hidden messages, but like deeper meaning in your lyrics, which will tie into the next question, which
Nice.
I'll let Alan lead into that.
Are there very deep meanings to your lyrics, or do you just, or would you like to break it down for us?
I mean, do you have any like? I mean, is there any specific
Just so like
ones that y'all have heard, or because I know I've sent y'all a couple records, so I don't know if you've had like any one thing that maybe.
top of my mind, I
You know what
don't
I mean?
have any right now. Just like
Sure.
any like main important like one that sticks in the top of your head that like has a deeper meaning that you want to break down for us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my most recent song, "Venting," that I just dropped. It's got a music video to it. We shot it in Atlanta, and
Okay.
it was like the song itself is just literally what we kind of talked about is like me venting and expressing whatever it is I'm thinking. I didn't really have like, I mean, there's a hook on it, there's a chorus on it, but at the same time, it's this like I'm not using the word venting in any of it, but it's me venting what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling in this current time that I'm writing that particular record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um,
it's so like in a way, it's like going to therapy, but instead you're just right expressing your what's inside in your passion, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and I say something in that record where I think if you want to talk about lyrics, like I say, because I'm very much a lyricist and somebody who I pay attention to lyrics really heavy, and so like for me, um, the last part of each verse in that, I say, my art is where my heart's at. The flesh is what I combat. See, it's me
Mm,
versus me, and I don't know how to solve that. So it's just like, where I'm saying like a lot of times people wonder why artists, and not even this isn't just hip hop exclusive. This is just in general. Artists that are musicians, like a lot of us are super fragile, and people are like, "Why are musicians so fragile? Why is the lead singer so like he seems so sensitive?" Or like, "Why is you know what I mean about his music? Somebody critiques his music or her music, and they just kind of seem real like, you know what I mean, real uptight with that." And I
yeah,
think that's because like we we literally we put our heart into whatever we're saying, and so like I put my soul into this thing, man. And so like when I'm like my art is where my heart's at, and I think that's like very true for a lot of people. Like what you're hearing on a record may be artistic, but it's also my heart, right? My heart is bleeding through what I'm saying, and you're
it's
just you're
basically
getting a piece of that.
it's like so like you're opening up to them, and like the reason why like you said, the artists are fragile is because since you guys are opening yourself up, you're letting yourself be vulnerable for people who are listening to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, 100%. And I think too, like the second part of that where I say like the flesh is what I combat, and I'm talking about like so my art's where my heart's at. The flesh is what I combat. It's me versus me, and I don't know how to solve that. Like I'm talking about like a lot of times it's not anybody else I'm fighting against other than myself. My biggest competition is me.
Yeah,
90% of the time when we're struggling with stuff, or like if I'm struggling through a thing, a lot of times it's my own thoughts that I believe is being used and compromised to be my worst enemy, right?
it's
And
it's always
so
it's
yeah.
always the internal battles that are like the toughest. I get you.
Yep. So that's kind of like what I'm talking about and saying like sometimes I don't know how to solve these things, man, within myself. I don't know how to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got you. Now,
So, what was your inspiration for Morphin Out? I know it's like a tribute to JDF, but like, how did
that's
you
the one I gotta
come
listen
up with
to. I
that?
haven't listened to that yet,
Yeah.
and I have to
Yeah, that
listen to it.
you brought the throwback out.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's how you got. I mean, Alan, I think you probably discovered me from that, right? Like from the Morphin Out
yeah,
song or whatever. Um,
yes,
and are you in North Carolina?
no,
Okay, for some reason I was like, I can't remember if he was at the Fayetteville Comic Con that I was at when I did the tribute event for JDF. I got asked to do that, which was wild. Um, but yeah, so Morphin Out was just like that whole era, man. Like I didn't go by Justin Mitchell. Justin Mitchell's my actual name, but it is like the name that I go under for all my music now. But previously it was under Primisis, which is where you guys can find the Morphin Out record. It was under Primisis,
Hang on. Let
Primisis,
me.
Primisis. Yep.
Where's my little tab? Where's my tab at? There it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
How do I edit
Primisis
that?
was my former alias that I went under like for a long time. And so Primisis stuff that I was doing, um, I was rapping like kind of just
Can you
like
spell it
hyper
one more
stuff.
time for me?
Yeah, sorry. It's Primisis,
Okay.
Primisis.
I think I got it right.
Yep.
There
And
we
so
go.
like I yeah, I basically, bro, like I'm gonna try to make it a long story short as possible, but the story behind Morphin Out is wild. Like I've always been I've always been a Power Ranger fan. I still am a Power Rangers fan. JDF was a giant inspiration to, I mean, millions of people, and to um me as a kid. I grew up wanting to be Jason when I was a kid, watching the television, like doing all the moves, and that was me. That was me as a kid, and like I would go to these events though as I'm doing my music stuff, and like I remember just talking to some of my guys that I was working with music on, and like they were helping me with my next like record or things I was working on. And I remember being like, man, I'm about to go. Actually, I think this is before I was about to go do this one show. But what I do remember is Netflix had just brought Mighty Morphin into the fold of like streaming. And I remember watching the series on Netflix being like, oh yeah, boy, like I'm about to go in, I'm about to watch all my like childhood stuff right now. I'm about to watch and binge watch Power Rangers.
That's the right one,
there
right?
you go. Yep, that one right there. Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
I just want to make sure I spelled it right when I had it in the description below.
Yeah, you got it. That's it.
Okay.
Appreciate that, bro. Yep.
Yeah.
And so basically, bro, like I'm watching Power Rangers and I see the Green Ranger saga come on, and I'm like, man, this is when Power Rangers was like my favorite, man. This is it when this happened. And then all of a sudden, man, I really felt like something's like, I feel like God spoke to me on this, bro. Like I don't say this all the time, but this is a true statement. Because all of a sudden I had this thought of like, yo, like I like do a EP themed around the Green Ranger. And because the problem was everywhere I'd go, all the rappers and all the people, we all dressed the same, thought the same, did all the same stuff. And I'm like, which isn't bad, but I'm like, yo, like I want to do something different. And like, I want to do something that just stands out. So all of a sudden, bro, like, because if you look at that cover art that you just pulled up, again, if that's the cover art for the Forever Green EP that we ended up dropping. But that particular cover art that's all me in my actual Anarchy cosplay that I got handmade and sent to me.
Wait, so that's
me.
Oh, that's cool.
That's me. That's me jumping. That's me, bro. That's me jumping and everything, bro. Everything on that is me.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was Jason David Frank.
Bro, you know what I mean? Bro, I would like show up at Comic-Cons and people would be like, hey, is that Jason? They thought I was Jason. And I'm like, nah. It was so funny. But yeah, man, we worked on this single. We took the Power Ranger theme music, sampled it, turned it into this record, and I think we may have sent it to the manager of Jason at the time, and just sent it to her. Just sent her a link, I think, on like email or something. Next thing I know, I have Jason reaching out to me, and Jason's like, "Hey," like personally, and he's just like, "Hey, like." I love hip hop. I have heard a lot of rappers that try to do Power Ranger themed raps. And he's like, yours is by far the best one I've ever heard. And I was just like, what? And it just blew my mind because I'm like, this is my childhood hero telling me that he likes my music. I was like, dang, this is crazy. And so from that point, we just kind of started chopping it up over the phone and texting. And he sent me like a Christmas gift for free, signed me like a bobblehead, and like, damn. This is before we ever met in person. And next thing I know, like he took me to my very first Comic-Con experience was Wizard World Comic-Con, Raleigh, North Carolina. He took me and my wife and my daughter at the time, got us whole weekend passes, and we got to hang out with him and be doing all this stuff. And like, he took me and my guys out for sushi, out to eat, and just, but like the cool thing is he like sat down and like really started asking like some real dope questions, bro, like about life. And you could tell even then, like there was some stuff he was struggling with, man. And like he was asking some really dope questions to me, which was really encouraging. And then yeah, bro, like that was how the Morphin' Out thing started, man. It just started from there, and like he started promoting it and putting it places, and I started showing up to Comic-Cons and doing a couple like raps right on the showroom floor and doing some crazy stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
That's crazy. So like,
what was the easiest one out of that EP that you've made? Like, what was the easiest one to write and produce and everything?
Probably Morphin' Out. Morphin' Out was probably the easiest one. That I mean, there's only 3 songs on the EP. So like Fearless is really dope to me. I love Fearless is probably my favorite record on the EP. I think it's my favorite song. I like Morphin' Out for what it is and what it did, but Fearless to me is probably my favorite record out of the 3. And the sample, like we took the dragon flute, the do, and we flipped it and turned it into this crazy trap, dope beat that like, and we got a guy that's singing on the hook, and like he's from Kansas City and he destroyed it. We have my other guy's script. He's from Chicago, so he's rapping on it on the second verse. I'm rapping on the first verse, and then we got this crazy hook that's just like super energetic, and it's just fire, man. So like, yeah, it's fun.
That's fucking incredible. I will say
Yeah.
when you said Jason David Frank personally reached out to you, something that it hasn't happened to me, but it happened to my buddy Yang, where so my buddy Yang does fighting, and he was a part of the thing that Walter and Austin St. John's a part of, the I think it's like Fanwood thing.
Okay.
And I can't remember what happened. It was either he won a raffle or something happened, and he sent out an email and he was telling Austin about how he's got a fight coming up. And then I think it was after his fight, he wrote back to him again. It was like, "Hey man, I lost the fight." And then like a few days later, he got a response with a video, and it was just Austin St. John just like giving him like his props, like, "Hey man, it's like it's good to hear about the fighting. It's like sorry that you lost," and he was just like giving him his props and stuff, and like and encouraging him to like don't let the defeat get you down. And I was like, "Damn, that's crazy."
That is crazy. Wow, those are just moments you just don't expect.
Yeah.
And then like when they do, you're like, this is the coolest thing ever, bro. Like, what is happening, man? So yeah, those are really cool moments, man, for sure. That's awesome.
Now, for those who are either going to be watching this when it's uploaded to YouTube, or if they come across your TikTok, or your any of your social media platforms, where is it? I had it here somewhat. Oh, there it is. What song would you recommend for them to listen to first out of all the songs you've made? If you had to pick one,
man, if I had to pick one, that's a good question. What would I recommend for them to listen to first? Well, I mean, being as under my name, Justin, I just started putting out new music like this year under my own name, Justin Mitchell. But under Primisis, there was a pretty hefty amount, but like you may be able to find some on YouTube scattered around, and I've kept a couple on Apple Music and Spotify and stuff. So there's a couple under Primisis, especially the Forever Green stuff. But man, I would say my new one, Venting, is probably one of my favorites right now. I just love that record just because of what it stands for me, and where I'm at personally in my journey. But like, I also think another one might be a song I did as Primisis called Finish Line. Finish Line is really dope. That record was pretty big.
Wait, what
for me.
What name was that under?
It's under my Primisis.
Primisis. Okay.
Yeah. But
I believe it's in the Forever Green EP. I believe.
Nah, Finish Line's not on the Forever Green. Nah, it's not under that one. That was just a regular single. That was just a regular release. Outside of the Forever Green. Fearless was the one that you might be thinking of in that.
Maybe. Because I know you said you had like 3 songs on it, so
yes, there's Morphin' Out, Fearless, and then we took the you remember that song from the Power Rangers movie, the pop, it was like an English pop band or some pop group. They were like, it was like we're in trouble.
I know, I know that one. Yeah.
So I took that song and we flipped it and turned it into every song on the Forever Green EP is sampling something from somewhere like something Power Ranger related.
Back in the Power Ranger in the past.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool right there. So that way those OG fans can be like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
The nostalgia cook.
Exactly.
Alan, you got any other questions before I hit him with the last question for the video?
No, but if you want to, if Justin wants, do you have any of his music that you can pull up and play for like 30 seconds?
Me or Justin?
Any of you.
I can pull something up really quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
His name.
Just like we did with reverse osmosis.
Oh yeah, play a preview. I got you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
like a preview.
It'll have to be through my headset volume because I don't know if I can play music through. Can I play music through here? Oh no. I'll have to be through my headphones. Have to be through the horrible quality of my headphones. Hang
Oh
on.
dang.
As soon as I can type in your name right. Oh wait, no. If I go JAST, yes. Oh, there you are. We'll go venting. I'm only
Yeah,
go
there you
30
go.
seconds. Otherwise, I'm gonna get. They're gonna be like, you can't monetize this video, which no biggie
Oh
for
no,
me.
hey, I give you permission. You're good. That's good.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta let this load because I'm on data. I think that one's it. Yeah. Let me make sure this is the right one though before I start playing
Yep,
it.
that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The reason I have you playing it is because like it could help him get some exposure too.
Yeah. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, yo, my headspace right, my faith on swole. Success ain't overnight, trust me, homie, I know. And just the windows, I'm feeling this all season. The Lord put breath in my lungs for this reason. Used to folks sleeping, best to get them a cop. Wake 'em all up, I'm creaming each record I drop. And the crew stay scheming, stay away from the bots. When I'm pledging my allegiance, yeah, that station with God. His kingdom over politics, unless I'm factuologist. I'm using Jesus for his blood and let you down to follow him. You know what I'm hollering, Yeshua to the bottom of it. Say goodbye to it. Grace, I need a lot of it. Your boy prone to slip up. Anger, lust, and pride. That's
Okay.
all
I
things
like
to
it. I
give
like it.
up.
I like. Oh shit. I went. I went 40 seconds. I got
Oh
too
no, but
into it.
if it's playing from your phone, you're probably all right. As long as
Oh.
because usually if it's like, you know, super broadcasted, it might. But I mean, I'm not signed to any big label and all that kind of stuff. You're not gonna get hit with no monetization, bro. You be all right.
Hey, it depends on YouTube though. Sometimes YouTube
Do
be
they get
like, oh,
crazy?
is this your is this your music?
Oh
Unknown
yeah. That's
music.
fair. That's fair.
YouTube
That's
tends to
fair.
be like that sometimes.
But
I
yeah,
think that should be. I'm trying to think. Oh, we do have. As soon as I can find it. So usually this one question I always ask everybody for like a final question,
yeah,
especially if they're up and coming artists, which
sure.
is, would you have any messages or word of advice for those in the upcoming artists business trying to follow the dreams, like either becoming a rapper, hip hopping. There was one person that did art and art. She was an author and an artist, as well
Nice.
as again we had another local band that we did an interview for, and one of those basically, what message or what of advice you have for the people out there trying to live their dream?
Yeah, man. Shoot. I my words of advice, as someone who's been in this sort industry of sorts for a minute, I would say, number one, just focus on making great art, make great music, make like, you know what I mean? Because like, though I am like a Christian and I'm a believer and all these things, I don't like try to hold that as like I get a free pass just to make crappy music,
Yeah,
because there's a lot of people who are in this genre of music or making faith-based music and it just sounds terrible. It sounds corny, it sounds bad. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want to ever do that. I want people to hear it and be like, dang, like we may not agree on every little thing that I'm saying, and that's okay. But you can still hear it and be like, yo, like, oh, but you rapping though. Like, oh, but hey, but your sound quality is really good, like your production is good, like, and I think those things should matter when it comes to like creating music in general or art in general. If you're being a painter or a graphic designer, like study your craft, know how to do the stuff that you want to do and do it well. You know what I mean? I'm a student as well, like I'm still learning. I don't ever cut myself off and be like, I'm good. I don't need anybody else to tell me how to do my stuff. Like, continue to learn how to grow, I think, is a part of the game. It's a part of what we do.
yeah,
So yeah, I think just learn how to do those things, and also learn something I wish somebody would have told me. I just had this conversation with my wife literally just a few minutes ago. I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger. If I could go back and tell younger Justin something that was up and coming artist Justin, I'd be like, hey man, learn the music business side of things like now. Like you need to learn how to do that first, like, or as you're doing this stuff, because bro, you're not gonna make it long if you don't learn how to do that. So, yeah.
Well, we do appreciate you for coming on. Thank you again. Before we end it, where can they all the social medias where they can find you?
Yeah. Thank you. Again, man, thank you guys for just having me on, man. Honored to do this, man, and be asked to get on anybody's platform. I'm always just like humbled by that. So thank you for that. And yeah, I would say just reach out to me on Instagram, TikTok, X or Twitter, whatever, at I am _ Justin Mitchell. That's where mainly you'll find all my music stuff. But if you want to look up a deeper catalog, go on Apple Music and you'll find Primisis, Primisis, which I think is down here. And then yeah, Justin Mitchell on Apple Music and Spotify.
Also,
as well.
YouTube Music too. I just found that out.
And
I have
YouTube
it on my
Music.
phone.
Yes, it's on there too. So Justin Mitchell all over. That's anything you hear from me from this point forward is under my name. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, for watching this, and we will see you all in the next episode of Nerds Corner podcast with Yin and my boy Alan over here.
Yes, sir.
All right, everyone. Peace.
Peace.